Alright, today we're going to be looking at finding the volume of prisms. We have already talked about rectangular prisms. You talked about it in science, and we kind of talked about it with the activity where you were building all those figures and drawing the two-dimensional figures. So we're going to do just a little bit of notes on rectangular prisms, and then we're going to really move into triangular prisms. So a rectangular prism is a three-dimensional figure with congruent rectangular bases. Okay, meaning like on top and bottom they've got congruent rectangles. To find the volume of a rectangular prism, we know that the formula is length times width times height. Okay? Or L times W times H. Triangular prisms are a little bit different. Triangular prisms are still a three-dimensional figure, but they have congruent triangles. As the basis. Okay, so each end of the prism is a triangle. The equation to find the volume for a triangular prism is a capital B times H. What does the capital B mean? The capital B means area of the base. So you find the area of the base, in this case for a triangular prism it's a triangle, and then you multiply it times the height. This formula works for every single prism. And let me show you what I mean. Okay, looking at this prism, this is a triangular prism because here's our triangle. Okay, here's our triangle. Okay, if I found the area of this triangle, and this is kind of like a Rubik's Cube, but it's triangular shaped, that would be like here. Okay, this is one triangular prism. Then I take and multiply it times the height, showing me that I've got three triangular prisms, or three triangles, that are the same area together. So you add them together. Okay, so it works with triangular prisms. It even works with rectangular prisms. We didn't talk about that being the volume, the equation, but really it is. Because the equation is length times width, which is the same as the area equation. And then what did we do? We multiplied it times the height, making this the same as the equation for the triangular prism. If we found the area of this rectangle on top and then multiplied it by the height, we would find the volume. Okay, it gives it that third dimension. Same with a cube. Find the area of the square, multiply it by the height, and that gives you the volume. Same thing with a cylinder. Area of the circle, multiply it by the height, now you have the volume of the cylinder. One more. Area of an octagon, multiplied by its height, that gives you the volume. Okay, it works on all of them. We're just focusing on rectangular prisms and triangular prisms, though, in 6th grade. But now you know. Okay, so let's get into calculating. Looking at our first example here. The first thing you need to do is find the area of the base. Okay, Now remember, the bases have to be congruent, okay, and here they are. For it to be a prism, they have to be congruent. The next step, well, let's look at the area. So I've got a triangle, my height is 3, and my base is 8. Remember the equation for the area of a triangle? 1/2 the base is the height. So now I'm going to plug in these numbers. 1/2 of the base is 8 times the height, which is 3. Okay, if I multiply all of this together, 8 times 3 gives me 24. Half of 24 is 12. I want to find the volume, though. Okay, so our next step is to multiply the area by the height. Okay, so the area was 12, and my height is this way. Okay, that's how long the cylinder is 10. So when I multiply that together, I get 120. Final step, label the answer with the correct units. Okay, and since we're finding volume, it's centimeters with a 3 because it's cubed. Think of all those little cubes you were using when we were building those figures. This is one of the reasons we did that activity. Okay, so you could visualize it would take 120 little cubes all around to build this triangular prism. Okay? Let's go on to another example with calculating. Okay, this one looks a little bit different, but here's our base. Okay? The bases are always going to be the triangles, unless you're dealing with a different kind of prism. Okay? No matter how the triangular prism is turned, though, the base is always the triangles. So we've got a height of 16 and a base of 12. The height of the triangle of 16. So my area is 1/2 of the base times the height, which means the area is 1/2 of 12 and 16. Okay? If I multiply it all the way through with this, I end up with 96 as my area for the triangle. Remember, we're looking for volume. The equation is the capital B times the height. Area of the base times the height. Area of the base was 96, and then my height, which is labeled over here in the dotted line, is 20 meters. So when I multiply through with that, I get 1,920 meters cubed. Okay, so on the back side of the notes are 2 practice problems. Solve those practice problems and then answer the question at the bottom of the page to show that you're understanding the material. And then any questions that you have, please write them down if you need to make sure you remember it so that you can ask them when you show me your notes the next day.